Hello everyone, it is I, Lily. I keep forgetting to introduce myself at the beginning of my videos, so I'm trying to make an extra effort. But anyways, I'm sure you're here for the book predictions. Yeah, you are? Thought so. Today I'm predicting Fablehaven, Grip of the Shadow Plague. And this is book 3. Okay, as is customary, we will begin with the cover. What do I see? What do I know? Well, I'm not sure if you can see this. Of course you can. This is a centaur. Okay, I should also mention that since this is the 3rd book in this series, I might be making subtle references to characters that have been introduced in the first 2 books, so if you haven't read this book, just know that there might be some tiny spoilers. Centaur. Good. He's muscly. I think he's a character that has been mentioned in book 1 and 2, or maybe those are the satyrs. Or do the centaurs play tennis? No, I'm pretty sure those are the satyrs. So, centaur, good. I'm pretty sure this is a new mythical character being introduced into the Fablehaven world. Has there been a centaur already? I feel like there has. Okay, if there has, great. Maybe this is his cousin. So, I see him standing in the forest. He has a ponytail flying in the wind behind him. He probably has like a modeling background. You'll notice that his face is also that of a male model. Perhaps he used to be a man. He looks like he's hunting something or someone. I cannot tell if he is a bad guy or a good guy. He seems kind of like the kind of guy who are glad to have on your side just because he looks so intimidating, but then maybe he's not actually totally for the cause. Kind of like a double agent sort of thing. I'm gonna take a step back and look at the title again. The Grip of the Shadow Plague. I do not know what the Shadow Plague is, but I'm guessing that it's something that involves shadows. Someone's going to catch the Shadow Plague. Whatever it is. Maybe Peter Pan had it, and that's why he had a shadow that was able to be disconnected from his body. Why am I even here? I should be a rocket scientist or something. As usual, we have some pixies flying around, and as usual, it's set in a window of some kind. This one seems to be made of trees, so I'm guessing it's like the window to the forest. There's also one little fairy who seems to have human skin who's peeking out from the corner right up here. That's either a really subtle hint at something, or I'm just taking this apart far too much. Oh, let's also take a look at the background of this. Notice the golden death. Look at all the dry grass back there. Is there a forest fire? Has the sun fallen to the earth? I'm ready to go to the table of contents. I'm so glad they haven't like gotten rid of it, because that would be extremely awkward if like I opened the book and then it was just suddenly gone. Now I'm gonna read them. How do we feel about that? That's what I'm gonna do anyways, no matter how you feel about it, so here we go. So we begin with chapter 2. Just kidding. We begin with chapter 1. Nipsies. I do not know what these are. I'm guessing it's a these. I'm guessing that they're like the cousins of pixies. They sound tiny and they sound mischievous. Chapter 2. Reunion. Wasn't there another chapter titled Reunion? With chapter titles like these, they're basically just giving the entire plot away. Obviously, someone's gonna be reunited with someone else. Chapter 3, Sharing Discoveries. Or as we like to say in America, a meeting. I don't know if you guys have meetings in other parts of the world. Notice I said worlds, including all of you. When you're sharing discoveries, it's usually a good thing to share your discoveries because then no one's kept in the dark. Maybe you accidentally share something that you weren't supposed to share. Maybe you've made a secret alliance with someone and then you accidentally tell the enemy about the alliance and then they're like, hold up, we can't be having any of that. Let's go right to chapter 4, New Knights. Knights spelled with a K. Well, currently, as of this point in time, Fablehaven doesn't have any knights. Maybe they just realized that they needed to step up their game a notch and they needed to dig up moat, get some knights. Maybe they're harboring a dragon somewhere on the grounds. By book 4, we'll probably have a castle built and there will probably be a princess in distress. Okay, I'm gonna keep going through these pretty quickly because we have 24 chapters in this book, plus the acknowledgements, my favorite part. Chapter 5, First Assignment. Okay, are we assigning the centaur something? Because we gotta remember that he is clearly gonna be a part of this book. Or are we assigning the knights their posts? That'd be a pretty boring chapter. Chapter 6, Plague. Title! I hope we get to learn about the Shadow Plague, because I'm really confused, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with Peter Pan. Chapter 7, Lost Mesa. I really want to say this like Jar Jar Binks. Mesa. But I will refrain. I have no idea what this means. Great. Let's move on. Chapter 8, Shadow Man. Is he the one spreading the plague? Is the Shadow Man the name of Peter Pan's shadow? So there's gonna be another new character. I know what's happening, totally. Chapter 9, Pathways. What are pathways? Pathways are the things that you follow. Maybe they're gonna be like Kendra, Seth, their grandparents, maybe they're gonna be like walking through the forest, and then the whole chapter is just kind of them like choosing pathways. Which way should we go? And they all decide on one way, they walk some more, then it's split again and they have to keep choosing. Then of course they do have to find their way back, and that's the adventurous part of this chapter. Chapter 10, Shadow Wounds. Ooh. Peter Pan has shadow wounds, I'm sure. He cuts off his shadow all the time. No wait, that's Rumpelstiltskin. You know what would be awesome? If like you got a scar and then instead of it like scarring over, it's just like a shadow. No one take that from me, I'm gonna use that in something probably. Why is everything in Spanish? Okay, chapter 11, The Old Pueblo. Siri, translate Pueblo from Spanish to English. Information not available. Maybe Pueblo is the name of this guy. Pueblo is the Spanish word for village or town. You guys, we're learning a foreign language. So the old village. The old Spanish village. Chapter 12, Obstacles. This could simply mean an obstacle course. Perhaps this Latin Spanish model guy is a big fan of obstacle courses, so he like sets one up for the caretakers of Fablehaven, but then he never tells them, so they're all like, this is an abduction attempt. But then this guy just kind of comes riding out of the shadows. Oh, forgive the morbid pun. Chapter 13, Secret Admirer. It doesn't take a genius to know that Kendra is going to be this guy's secret admirer. She had a little crush on, what is his name? He lives at Fablehaven. He's the brother of someone. Chapter 14, Homecoming, where Kendra asks Spanish male model to homecoming? Probably not. Homecoming is almost definitely referring to someone coming back to Fablehaven, because I doubt that Kendra and Seth are going to be allowed off the property ever again in their lifetime. Maybe the mother of all the pixies is coming home. Or maybe one of the mermaids is coming on land. I'm not gonna say which one, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Chapter 15, Brownie Sunday. My favorite day of the week. I decree that we make every Sunday Brownie Sunday. And if you refuse to participate, it's punishable by law. Yeah, that's a great idea. No, Brownie Sunday is when the brownies come into the house and fix everything and then they bake something. I'm looking forward to Brownie Sunday because the brownies, they take like household items and turn them into tasty desserts. They invented brownies. If you invent brownies, you've kind of got your whole life just paved for you. Chapter 16, Refuge. Something has gone down. Maybe the shadow plague is spreading. Maybe it accidentally contaminated the brownies. Everyone would eat the brownies, so everyone has eaten the shadow plague. So someone's gonna have to seek refuge. Watch me be like dead accurate on every guess I make in this book. It's bound to happen one of these days. Chapter 17, Preparations. What are we preparing this time? Maybe they're preparing to battle the shadow plague? I don't know how you can really battle a sickness though. That's kind of like something you have to do on your own with your own immune system. Maybe Kendra and Seth have joined the Fablehaven speech and debate camp. They have to prepare for their speeches in front of all of Fablehaven. Dead accurate, I know. Chapter 18, The Old Manor. Didn't we already just have like an old pueblo? I'm gonna leave the explaining of that one to the book. Chapter 19, Duel. This guy is definitely going to be involved in that. You can't name a chapter titled Duel and not include the guy on the cover, especially if he has a bow and arrow and he's half horse. But the real question is, who is he going to be dueling? Is he going to be fighting a stack of brownies? And I don't mean the delicious dessert. Perhaps he's dueling Hugo, because Hugo got dirt in his hair. Because he seems like the kind of guy who pays a little too much attention to his hair, and maybe he straightens it every morning, maybe he curls it because that's a really good curl in that ponytail. So of course the duel is gonna involve this guy, and of course it's gonna be over his hair. Chapter 20, History. Maybe we'll learn about the old manor. Maybe we'll learn about more of the history of Fablehaven, because like there have been bits here and there, but we've never taken like a crash course. Mostly because everything is a secret. So if you explain something, you're pretty much giving the entire secret of the world away. So Grandpa did mention towards the end of, what was it called? Rise of the Evening Star, that Kendra and Seth were going to eventually inherit Fablehaven. So they have a lot of learning to do. I'm really excited for that now. Chapter 21, Fairykind. I can't say it's a spoiler. You know how like someone is Fairykind? Pretty sure this involves that. Chapter 22, Light. Chapter 23, Darkness. Well, darkness, shadows, plagues, death. I'm not really happy that the Light chapter comes before the Darkness chapter because that means that the book is probably gonna end on a bad note. That's okay, it's the third book, so that's kind of expected. We're climbing a mountain. We're getting to the peak of the mountain. We could keep climbing, but then we would need oxygen tanks, and no one really wants to carry those. Okay, so we've got light, and then we've got darkness. So either the darkness is gonna be really surprising, and this is gonna be like, great, darkness. Or maybe everything's just gonna go sour, which is fun, but then I'm gonna have to start reading the next book right away, so thanks, Fablehaven. You know how to draw me back in. Chapter 24, Goodbyes. Ooh, see, darkness and goodbyes should not be that close together. Someone's gonna die. I know it. Do we have a pretty good idea what this book is gonna be about? I'd say we probably do. I mean, we've got Peter Pan, we've got this guy, and we've got a lot of random scenarios that could possibly come into play. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited to read it because I've been kind of putting it off because I accidentally went and bought way too many books. And there's the acknowledgements. I've got to make the acknowledgements about the guy on the cover. Maybe he'll acknowledge that he, in fact, does have an obsession with his hair, and maybe he'll get help for that. I'm sorry, you just look like the kind of guy who really takes care of his hair. I don't even want to know how many times the elves in Lord of the Rings like wash their hair daily. Ooh, there's actually a picture of the author in this one. I don't think I've ever seen his face. Where does he live? Is that the wrong question to ask right off the bat? Utah. Brandon's greatest regret is that he has but one life to give for Gondor. That would be mine too. I've finished my third predictions video. I can't guarantee that a review will be coming. I don't know, I just don't want to make like my entire channel Fablehaven, though it is so awesome. I just want to make sure that like every other video that I'm putting up isn't like Fablehaven, which it hasn't been for a while now, so I think we're on a pretty good track. I can't remember if I did a review for Rise of the Evening Star. I've done predictions for the first and second book, and I did a review for the first book, I know. So, I hope that you decide to read Fablehaven. Actually, if you've never even heard of Fablehaven, and this is just like a super random video that you found yourself watching at like 2 o'clock in the morning, do read it. It's awesome. It's supposed to be more of like on the kids' side of the spectrum, but in the Harry Potter / Percy Jackson kind of way, where really anyone can read it and enjoy it. Like nothing about them feels repetitive or familiar at all. So yeah, check it out if you want to, which you do. You really do. Well, thank you for watching. Hope this video did something for your lives.